Hey folks, how are you doing this Friday? Good to see you here on the Land Timber stream. This wallpaper of the day, this is still more of the Mojave wallpapers. Still enjoying those. Starting to get a little bored, probably change those soon. Anyway, hope all is well. We're going to talk about a subject today, cloud or CCIE. Should be interesting. Also about some DMVPN. And I need to adjust this volume real quick. Yeah, so today was, another day of my staycation, studycation and staycation, you could call it, I guess. And it went well. I got some questions or someone asked me on Twitter in a DM, and I've also been asked this question on stream before and by other people who, know me. And that is, okay, well, if you had to do it over again, would you learn more about the cloud or would you keep working on your CCIE? And that's a very good question. This came about for me, at least recently, because, I now work on a cloud team. So that's my day-to-day job. I went from the network team to accepting an assignment on a cloud automation and deployment team or cloud enablement team. So this is very fresh for me. I mean, I've got a couple months under me now. And so I can speak to this, I think, a little bit, at least in my case. And I would say it depends in your case, always. And, what do you measure that against? Well, first of all, let's talk about cloud or CCIE. What does that really mean? Well, that basically means a certification. So there are a lot of cloud certifications out there. Microsoft has recently revamped, I think, from what I've heard, their certification system, including Azure. AWS has, I see a lot of network engineers interested in AWS certifications. I don't know anything about those, but what I can tell you about is my recent experience making the transition from networking to cloud engineering, network engineering to cloud engineering. And I will say that there is an entirely new set of skills that you need to be effective and to be efficient and an important part of any team doing cloud services, right, and orchestration. So there are a lot of new skills. I've been learning a lot of new things. A lot of folks on my team have been as well. And it is much different, I'm sure, than working on a job where you were hired as a CCIE. I was not hired as a CCIE. I was actually hired as a CCNA who needed one more exam and became a CCNP. So there's CCNP expectations as part of my hire prior to this position, right? So, the opportunity was there. And it became important to the organization for me to get involved with that. They needed people who had a networking or have networking background, among other things. I also happen to have quite a bit of background in virtualization myself. I, obtained the VCP back in version 4 when some of that stuff was still kind of hard in terms of storage and things like that. So yeah, I had a lot of background also in Active Directory and Windows Server Administration. I have a lot of background in Linux. And I guess really that's my point when you talk about cloud skills, because cloud skills are important not just for networking, but now what you really need to know is you need to be more well-rounded. And when I say well-rounded, I don't mean you need to know less about networking. I mean that you need to know not just about networking, but you need to develop a lot of skills. And it's interesting. I would definitely encourage, and I've mentioned this before on stream, this book here, I still have it on my desk. I may do a giveaway of this book, The Quantum Age of IT. And it's got a several years on it now, I think, but it was indeed, I would say with the times and still is. very pertinent to the times, because it talks about sort of the commoditization that cloud migration to the cloud and the migration to agile principles and DevOps and things like that. And it talks about how that is really going to change the skills that all of us need. So yes, I think you need to know more about those things. I'll say I've struggled recently. I won't say struggled. I've made really good progress, I think, on learning automation, and that has to do with templating and scripting, DevOps discipline and principles, and also kind of learning about where storage is these days. So yes, I have to know storage, I have to know operating systems, I have to know security. When you're working with a cloud, I think a lot of companies are kind of new with it, or the cloud itself is still maturing. The services that are available in the cloud and the ease of deployment. And in comparison, for example, to a lot of the traditional infrastructure services you might have on premise. But that's IaaS, right? That's infrastructure as a service. So that is one emphasis, but there's also platform as a service, software as a service. And that's when you really start to see a transformation on how you do things compared to the way you used to do things on premise, including networking. So my point being is that either way you go, I think that cloud skills, and in particular those disciplines that are part of the cloud skills, are going to seep into networking sooner rather than later, depending on where you work or who you work for. So we're starting to see that already. Net DevOps had a big big emphasis at the last Cisco Live, and they're only going to continue to take over the showroom floor. So I think those are skills that you need to focus on, whether you decide to go all cloud or CCIE, or if you do a combination of both. And so my take is everyone needs to be learning skills related to the cloud, whether that just be simply DevOps or automation or programming. You need to be learning those, period. And you need to start now. What level should you engage in learning those skills? I think that depends. So if you've already, well along in obtaining the CCIE, I still think is extremely valuable. I'm doing that myself. Like, I have the written exam scheduled December 31st. So I would not say that, don't do any cloud or any DevOps related things or programmability. I wouldn't say don't do any of that and just focus 100% on the CCIE. I think you find a balance somewhere, I would also say don't abandon the CCIE if you already have your CCNP, and if you've already made commitments to yourself to obtain the CCIE. For example, you scheduled exams, or you just have told yourself that, this is my goal I want to achieve. I still think the CCIE is relevant, right? Especially with the expanding and changing, evolving technology section. It's very interesting that I think that you can work on the evolving technologies section and also work on cloud skills, right? So that's a very important point. It's 10% of your grade is evolving technologies. One of the three major sections in there is cloud skills. So really, I think the right answer is do both. But if you're already committed to the CCIE, then finish the CCIE. That's my intent anyway. Don't get me wrong. I've thought about, I just want to learn so much more about what's applicable, what I'm doing right now in my job, or what people are talking about, what all the buzz is about. Don't get me wrong. I've thought about it. It has crossed my mind. I wanted to ask myself the same question, and I have. So I appreciate you asking me. This is something I've already thought about considerably. And I've decided right now that, hopefully in the next year or two, I will get those numbers. Even if it's 3, I'll get the CCIE number. But I am going to simultaneously try to learn as much as practically possible on skills that I think are important to my day-to-day job right now. So again, it depends on your situation. I have a lot of opportunity. It just so happens I have a lot of opportunity within the last few months because I'm able to learn as part of my new job responsibilities. I also have access to credits in Azure that I can use. So I'm trying to combine non-work time and study time. I'm trying to combine cloud and CCIE where I can. If you follow my channel, if you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, you've seen I've been building a project in the cloud for labbing for the CCIE. So best of both worlds, right? But I'll be honest, I have gone a little overboard on cloud sometimes during the CCIE. Not much. I'm pretty good about catching myself doing that, but I've been working on this lab project and I wanted to automate certain things, and I have automated it, and I've got an EVNG automated deployment project that I hope to share with the community pretty soon. But again, as much time as I can, I am trying to focus on the CCIE, especially up to an impending deadline for an exam, right? So I would say it depends. Now, if you are just starting the CCNA or you already have your CCNA, well, you've got a tough choice to make. I've had someone ask me that as well, actually. Yeah, they had just got their CCNA, very young person, asked me the same thing. What do I do? Do I go for CCNP and then CCIE? Or do I go for, actually they were asking about a different certification, but my recommendation to them was, I would figure out, you're very young, figure out what you like to do. Mark Milo, everyone gives you a different answer to that question. Yes. And that's the thing, it depends on you, right? How old are you? Where are you in your career? Do you have opportunities at your current company? Like that was the case for me, and that's what is allowing me right now to do a little of both, right? Or do day job cloud, nighttime study CCIE. But check around your company. Who's working on the cloud and cloud initiatives? Are there opportunities to work with those folks? Do they need networking people? Which is often the case. You need with the cloud, depending on which cloud, but generally you're going to still need BGP knowledge. You still need to know network numbering. You still need to know subnetting. You still need to know security, networking security, policy. You still need to know HTTP. You still need to know encryption. So you need to know a lot of those things. And that's not going away. And certainly as people, the other thing too is there's something that's hot right now, right? But remember, technology always changes. It always changes. So don't be too concerned about, is it the wrong decision to pick one or the other or some combination of both? I think a key takeaway is, above all, is strive for excellence, in whichever you choose. There will be a place for you in IT. There's such a lack of IT, like strong IT skills, not just in the United States, but around the world. So there's so many jobs that are unfilled. It's so hard to find good IT people, whatever your discipline is. So you're not going to want for work whether you choose one or the other. And a lot of it, I think, boils down to, right now, what are your opportunities? What are your circumstances? And what do you like doing? What do you enjoy doing? So it is difficult. We're not currently in an environment that even takes advantage of the CCNA. I know how that works too, Mark Milo. As a matter of fact, to really take advantage of the networking skills, I've always sort of worked, throughout my career, I've worked behind the skills that I'm studying for. I wish it were the other way around, to be honest. And that's partly probably due to my own shortcomings in terms of ambition and different priorities in life. But I've always seemed to be trying to find projects that relate to what I'm learning for whatever certification I'm working on. But that's okay, because trust me, Mark Milo, if you're staying ahead, that's great, because at some point you are going to be behind. And there will be a project or a troubleshooting scenario you're going to come across where you will need that. Or it could be, too, that people just don't know yet that you have some of those skills. But it's definitely better to be working in an environment where you're using the skills that you want to be learning. I work for wholesale technology, so I get a bit of experience on various things, but overall you eventually know that you'll need to move on. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes you have to do your time, you know, and as always, of course, deploy patience and play the long game, you know. Another advice I gave to a young person was they wanted to, just got their CCNA, but they have no experience. Yep, that's tough. That is difficult. How do you get into a job where they want experience, but you don't have it yet? And that's always a conundrum. I see that all the time for new hires, everywhere, throughout my career. Employers they typically want what they don't have, and employees want what they don't have. So generally it's either waiting for someone to leave and an employer to have some faith in you, your persistence, or just working your way up, you need to define experience and what that means. Yeah, so I guess, for example, let's say you're a CCNA and you want to apply for a job where you need CCNP experience. In other words, you need experience with routing protocols. But let's say they ask you on an interview, have you ever configured EIGRP or DMVPN? That's what they need on the current job. That's the person who left. That's what they're trying to hire for. Let's say you don't have those skills. I have been hired in those situations because, one, I've been persistent, I've been patient, and eventually, the employer has to choose someone. If they can't find exactly the right fit, or if they're not paying the right amount of money, then eventually you're going to have a foot in the door there. Sure, in a lab, as long as they don't ask specifics. Exactly. So that's what you have to say. I've done it in a lab. And that's how I got one position too, where I was persistent. I know this is going to require some faith in me because I know you need these skills right now. I've only labbed them. But look, I've already got an exam scheduled. And, this is what I'm going to do. So I would love to have the opportunity. I won't disappoint, that kind of thing. So yeah, it all depends on where you are now, what you want to do. But either way, I would say it's easy with the cloud to start experimenting. Stick with, for example, let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to keep going with the CCIE. You can start playing with the cloud. Just anytime you need to do a project or build a lab in the cloud. And there are a lot of promotions where you can do it for free for a certain period of time. Learn it. That's one great thing about cloud computing is it's all virtual. It's not permanent. You don't have to buy something permanent. Even if you have to pay by the hour, you can learn it for pretty cheap, as I'm finding out. And you're not running the stuff in your house, not using your electricity, and you tear it all down when you're done if you don't want to keep it. So that's a great thing about it. When VMware was hot, I remember when VMware was all the rage and everybody's like, oh, I got to learn VMware now. You could buy a copy of VMware for your machine and you could learn some things that way, but there really wasn't in the beginning anyway, there wasn't an easy way to start playing with VMware. All right, and ESXi and lots of servers and vMotion. They have online labs now, right? But now in the cloud, you could start playing right away. And you can play with any type of service that they offer, pretty much. It is a great time to learn these technologies, absolutely. So anyway, I hope that answers a question that folks had. I will send an update. Someone's asking about this on Twitter. I'll let you know, the link to the video, and hope that answers your question. Just a couple quick updates, folks. First of all, I'm celebrating with the beer here on stream. I don't drink beer that often, just because I'm on keto, and this one has quite a few carbs in it, I think. This is Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, handcrafted. They brew it in the bottle. I like this, but I reached a goal, fitness goal, or a weight goal with keto. So I've dropped 25 pounds in like 9 months. So anyway, gonna celebrate by maybe adding a little more weight, but that's fine. And it's Friday, and it's day 3. I'm halfway through my studycation, so I'm gonna give an update on that in a minute. I did get access to Safari Books through acm.org. I subscribed today. I probably could have waited another month before I need this, or a few weeks, but I just went ahead and did it because I wanted to make sure that I had access to this, right? In particular, on Safari Books, I need access to this. So this is the Evolving Technology Study Guide, and I was able to confirm no limitation regarding extra library videos and books. Well, let's see. I don't think so. I think pretty much, actually what happens is when you log into your ACN website, I'll show you. Association of Camp Nursing .org. Yeah. Now, how is it that? Oh, because of the search? Oh, www. No, how did I get taken to that other site? Someone else mentioned that. That's not the same site I went to. Interesting. I don't know. Anyway, it's www.acm.org. And when you log in, they've got a lot of stuff available on here. Again, it is Association for Computing Machinery. So I don't even really know, to be honest, what the organization is all about. I want to research it a little more. There's a web account, yeah. Log in at my ACM. Let's see. Oh, digital library, is that it? Let me see. We'll see that book, IPv6 Fundamentals. I'm pretty sure it is. So they got their digital library. That is not it. There's another link. Learning Center. There we go. I need to bookmark this bad boy. Yeah, Safari. So notice you've got Safari, Skillsoft, and Science Direct are external links, but you basically click on Safari and it proxies you in. And boom. So let's see, IPv6 fundamentals. Heck yeah. It also has the video training, live lessons. Is that the link you were looking at? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Rick Graziani. Oh, he's on the IPv6 podcast, isn't he? IPv6 Buzz podcast, I believe. I could be wrong there. Yeah, it's here. And again, there are some videos. So as far as I can tell, pretty much all the content sold, yeah. And this is the best deal I have found. So last year I signed up. There was a promotion, and it was $120, I think. This was, for me, it was $99, not $89. $89 might be a student membership. I don't know. I didn't qualify for that. So if you go there, I think the standard is like $200 a year. You could do it monthly. $3.99 a year. Wow. Interesting. Or $39 a month. So $39 a month is cheaper, right? $468. No, it's not cheaper. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. $3.99 is basically $33 a month. So instead of that, I am paying $8.25 a month. So, guys, that's a great deal. Plus, I do want to see. I think renewal might be less. I could be wrong there. Let me check out this other site, Skillsoft. I've heard of them. I don't know what they do. I've not heard of it in terms of keep pace with rapid change technology. Okay, it is technology. C++. Oh, this might be more coding. Engineering, IT skill certification. Okay. Cisco, check it out. Okay. Oh, this has a CCIE in 8 weeks. I considered buying this. Dude for him was telling me about this. I didn't know you could get it through the sub. Yeah, so... Oh, this is... I'm glad I looked here. Can you download it? Oh, it has a viewer. Okay, I'm okay with that. As long as I have like a mobile app I can use on my iPhone, or I mean, yeah, iPhone or iPad. Oh yeah, nice. Uh-oh, check it out. Download Adobe PDF. Available now as we refresh. Nice. So if you're not familiar with Safari Books Online, it does have an app. It's not a very good one. Or EPUB. There you go. So yeah, this is definitely, I highly recommend this. So just review upcoming target dates. I'm working on November 30th, network lessons, trying to get through 4, 5, and 6. I'm trying to finish Unit 4 by the end of Monday. How did I do today? I did pretty good. I did not do any labs. I started the lab up. I left it running for a few hours. Didn't really need it. I built a DMVPN. I was getting ready to do DMVPN. I may do some tonight, but essentially I went through network lessons and I got all the way to here. So I was just reading all day long. And as I was reading, I decided to take some notes on phases. So this is, actually, let me open in MindNode. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with MindNode. I have like an old version of the Pro, and it's really easy to like make detailed notes and create an outline and move things around. So this is out on the GitHub. case you want to look at DMVPN. So let me find that link here and put it in the chat. Should be here under my notes. Yeah, I created a DMVPN. Hold on a second. Did I not push it? I thought I pushed it. Oh, I didn't push it yet. Okay, pushing it up. So yeah, it's out here as in an image format too. If it, PNG. If anybody wants to use it. And I just read, I just read through. This should be updating. Let me go back. Copied some new packet captures in here as well, but we've got the notes. Yeah, it may take a minute to sync, but it's there. So yeah, this is helpful. I reviewed phase 1, 2, and 3. And all the different protocols, and I kind of marked on here what is recommended, like for OSPF. OSPF is complex for DMVPN. All the other ones are pretty simple, but OSPF is weird. And a way to search for certain captures on Wireshark Cloud. I do not. I think they disable that on purpose. I have checked that, Mark Milo, to see. I think there's a way. Yeah, I really don't know a way. I would love to use CloudShark, but it costs money. So I just use GitHub to publish mine. Oh, they have on-prem CloudShark Enterprise. That's interesting. I really like CloudShark though. I wish there was another way or some other reader online reader. Yeah, but if you want to host, in other words, if you want to save, it's $199 a year. So, and they don't have a search option. I wonder if let's try this. DMVPN. Site cloudshark.com. Is it .com? .org. Ooh, look at this. You can. Check it out. I'm glad you asked that question because I never actually tried this. Doing a site-specific search. But heck yeah, you can. That is sweet. So how about DMVPN? OSPF. Actually what I want is RIP phase 3 site cloudshark.org. So yeah, it may be hard to find something very specific because depending on how they tag it. Yeah. So if it's something very rare, ooh, IPX, check that out. IPX RIP. Oh man, just what I always wanted. Fair enough, but at least something is possible. Yeah, man, I'm glad you asked that because now there have been some very rare protocols or things that I've read about and it's been difficult to observe that I have not been able to find scouring the internet. I actually had someone on Twitter like lab something up in hardware just to be able to generate a PCAP that I could look at because it was unknown unicast. Yeah, there's a unknown unicast. I don't know that it ended up. Yeah. So only if you're desperate, you might be able to find it. So anyway, we've got this mind map here. You're welcome to use that. I am very close to finishing. I've got 2 lessons left to do. These I will most likely lab because it's QoS and IPv6 over IPv4. And I just want to lab all things IPv6. And I need more practice. So that was my goal, is to finish DMVPN today. And then tomorrow I want to do tunneling. And hopefully wireline. Yeah, this will probably take me Saturday though. It's just these two and tunneling. And I hope to do the L2 VPN services in Metro E Sunday. And finish encryption on Monday. That's the plan. But I desperately need to finish it. Yeah, I'll be tunneling tomorrow. So no quiz for right now. And no meat chunks of the day. Again, I've been just reading all day long, and I probably wasn't even going to vlog, but I got that question on Twitter, so I wanted to update folks with that. Hey, thank you so much, Mark Miller. Wish you all the best with all the tunneling section. Yeah, I'm going to be working heavily on the Anki flashcards. It was actually a little discouraging last night because I was on the couch going through these for MPLS, and I don't know, it just hit a lot of stuff that made me think, man, there's so much to try to remember. And my wife asked me, do you think you're any farther along than before? And my gut answer was no, not really. That's not fair, but I actually got a little discouraged doing this because I was like, wow, there's a lot of these I don't know the answer to, but that's okay. We're going to keep grinding, and we're going to keep reviewing. And the objective with the written is just to try to commit as much as possible to memory and to understand the principles. So we're going to keep on going, folks. 3 days left in studycation. Thanks for all the well wishes. I hope this has been helpful. And wishing everybody a great weekend, a great start to their weekend, and good bits all around. Thanks. Good seeing folks in the chat. Mark Milo. And appreciate it. You have a good one as well. And we shall see you. I will be streaming tomorrow because so folks, I haven't labbed much today, or really not a whole lot yesterday. But I'm going to be doing tunneling in new areas. Completely new for me on Saturday and Sunday. So, yes, I'll be doing some labbing. And we shall see you back here then on Land Tamer Stream. Have a great weekend.